Welcome to Archetypes of the East. Today we're looking at Hexagram 53, Development, Gradual Progress. Slow, steady, and continued progress, like that of a gradual growth of a tree. The hexagram uses the sacred symbolism of the swan or the goose to tell the story of gradual progress as it travels the lands signified in each line and the state of its long journey towards its ascent towards heaven. This is also the fourth hexagram that concerns the affairs of love and romance, specifically long-term commitments and marriage. Gradual, patient, and inevitable advancement is the theme of the hexagram. The consistency and step-by-step development of a connection builds a stronger connection in the long run. The greatest achievements are built over time and with a constant, diligent effort. One's focus on following the right path, sequence of events, rituals, or even established norms is a traditional view of committing to the right action at the right moment. Never rush the gradual development. Growth must be natural, organic, and not artificially manipulated. The principle of this hexagram is organic ascension. Hexagram 53 represents wood growing on top of a mountain. A tree on a mountain does not reach the clouds overnight. It has to sink its roots deep into the stone to survive the heights. This is the strategy of evolutionary timing. It teaches that success is a byproduct of consistency rather than intensity. In the I Ching, this is the antidote to the shock of Hexagram 51. The oracle says, do not skip steps. If a tree grows too fast, its wood is weak. If you rush a project or a relationship, it will lack the structural integrity to withstand the storms of the future. Perseverance is not just about working hard. It's about respecting the natural speed of life. The wild goose is the ultimate symbol for order and fidelity. They fly in formation with a systematic progress, and they mate for life. The oracle suggests that your current endeavor requires group cohesion and perhaps patience. You're not arriving, you are developing. In career, this is the steady climb to leadership. Focus on building your reputation and your skill set brick by brick. In relationships, it's the maiden given in marriage. The slow transition from stranger to partner through shared trials and tribulations. Trust the gradual nature of the process. Good fortune is found in the steady ascent. The key or energy of this hexagram is elegant, patient, and persistent. The atmosphere of hexagram 53 is aerodynamic and well-rooted. It feels like the sunrise over a forest, gradual, inevitable, and quiet. The image of hexagram 53 states, wind over mountain. On the mountain is a tree, the image of development. The superior person abides in dignity and virtue in order to improve society. In the process of gradual change, you can't force people to change. You must be the mountain. Like a tree that provides your shade, your virtue gradually changes the environment around you. This is cultural growth. It takes generations. The I Ching is telling you that your current work has long-term impact. You're planting a forest and not a garden. The judgment of hexagram 53 states, development. The worthy prospect gives themselves in marriage. Good fortune, perseverance furthers. In the I Ching, marriage is the ultimate example of a process that cannot be rushed without losing its sacred quality. This is the strategy of formal integrity. It teaches that the end is only as good as the means in order to get there. There is no such thing as hacking your way to true intimacy. In the I Ching, development is the opposite of seizing. The oracle says the process is the product. If you skip the boring basics or the formal steps, you create a debt of character that will eventually cause the structure to collapse. Good fortune is not a destination that you arrive at. It's the legacy that you build through small, correct actions. One cannot rush the journey. Never let the temptation to skip steps derail you. This is a warning against false efficiency. In career, this is the steady climb. If you take a shortcut to a promotion that you haven't earned, you lack the root system to handle the pressure of the new role. The oracle suggests respect the rhythm of the goose or the swan. Each habitat that's found in the hexagram that it describes, the shore, the cliff, or the plain, prepares you for the next one. In relationships, this is earning trust through accumulated shared experiences. The goal is a transition so incredibly slow that neither person feels pressured. Commitment is not a goal to be won. It's a fruit that falls when it's ripe. This is the hexagram of the long game strategy. It's the realization that reliability is the highest form of genius. And the I Ching says, Success is guaranteed, but only if you refuse shortcuts. Follow the protocol, do the work to its fullest. Whether in marriage, career, or a project, focus on being steady. Trust that the natural sequence of events is working in your favor. By abiding in dignity and doing the right thing every day, you are creating a foundation that is impossible to stagnate. Perseverance isn't just continuing, it's continuing correctly. A changing line 1. The wild swan gradually approaches the shore. The young gosling on its new journey is vulnerable yet cautious of danger, and there are doubts and inconsequential talk on the matter. There is no blame in this scenario. Line 1 is the bottom line of the inner trigram of mountain. The goose has left the vast, fluid world of the water and is attempting to find its footing on the shore. This is the strategy of deliberate entry. It teaches that the beginning of any development is inherently unstable and subject to the talk of the spectators around you. In the I Ching, a young son lacks the weight of experience. The oracle says, your awkwardness is expected. When you start a new venture, you are vulnerable because you don't have the rhythm of the land just yet. The danger isn't fatal, it's the danger of being discouraged before you even start. The inconsequential talk is a warning against social sensitivity. Whenever someone changes their state, like a goose landing or a person starting a new career, people will talk and criticize. The oracle suggests let them talk. Their doubts are a reflection of their own fear of change and not a reflection of your own path. In career, this is the probationary period. Don't try to soar yet. Just focus on landing safely on the shore. In relationships, it's the first few dates where everything feels uncertain. Be careful and deliberate. The risk is part of the new beginning, but perseverance will turn the shore into a stronghold eventually. This is the line of the rookie. It's the realization that beginner's luck is a myth. Beginner's caution is the reality. The I Ching says, you're drawing near the shore. You feel vulnerable and young. There is gossip and talk about your new direction. Ignore it. There is no blame in being startled or even cautious right now. You're just finding your feet. Don't let the doubts of others stop your development. Take your first steps with careful intent. You're landing. The ascent comes much later. A changing line 2. The wild swan gradually approaches the cliff rocks, drinking and eating in harmony, good fortune. Line 2 is the central position of the inner trigram of mountain. After the vulnerability of the shore, the swan has found a rock that is high enough to be safe but accessible enough to provide food. This is the strategy of foundational stability. It teaches that development requires moments of rest and harmony to sustain the long flight ahead. This is the line of finding a solid foothold in life. The foundation is better. Comfort, security, and good relations can abound. In the I Ching, the cliff is a place where you cannot be easily reached by the gossip of the shore, of your beginning. The oracle says, the stress of the new beginning is over. You have proven your worth and established a stable environment. This good fortune is a direct result of your cautious start at line 1. Enjoy this period of well-being and good connection. This is a reminder of communal success. Geese eat together to stay strong for the migration. The oracle suggests, don't eat alone. Concord means your success is shared with your immediate circle. This is not the time to hustle harder. It's the time to nourish the relationships and the foundation that you've already built. In career, this is the end of probation, or the successful launch of Phase 1. Stop to celebrate with the team before starting Phase 2. In relationships, it's the peaceful plateau where you and your partner have found a rhythm that works for you both. The rocks are beneath your feet. Use this security to replenish your spirit. This is the sweet spot of life. It's the realization that progress isn't just about climbing, it's also about feasting. The I Ching says, you are approaching the cliff rocks. Your foundation is solid and your environment is stable. You have harmony with those around you. Stop and drink and eat in peace. This is a good fortune. Don't rush to the summit yet. Enjoy this period of well-being and security. You've earned this foothold. Use it to strengthen your connections before your next ascent. A changing line 3. The wild swan approaches the unfavorable plains. Gradual development has stopped as if the suitor goes forth and doesn't return. And the prospect is pregnant with plans but does not bring them forth. There is misfortune. It furthers to resist adversaries and troubles at this time. Line 3 is at the top of the inner trigram of mountain. pushing to the easy but exposed territory of the plains. This is the strategy of premature independence. It teaches that when you leave the protocol of gradual development behind you to strike out on your own, you lose the protection of the formation around you. This is the line of going too far too fast. In the I Ching, the plateau is a trap for the swan because it will starve on the high plains, but it looks like easy progress. The oracle says that you've lost your rhythm. When it says in the original translation that the husband does not return, that is your action and your initiative. And when the wife, your nurturing self, cannot bring forth the child, your result of your plans, it means that your plans are disconnected from reality. Your growth has become unnatural because you've abandoned the steps for a shortcut. Where you are in your current circumstance makes you a target. You need to protect yourself from certain troubles. This is a warning against external predators. Because you are exposed on the plains without a foundation, you are a target for adversaries, which could be competitors, critics, or even bad habits. The oracle suggests, stop trying to grow, start trying to survive. Fighting off robbers, as it says in the original translation, means defending your current assets and integrity until you can find your way back to the safe formation or a stable foundation. In career, this is the expansion that happened too quickly. Don't launch more products, shore up your current security before you go bankrupt. In relationships, it's the drift, where partners start keeping secret plans. The instability will destroy the union unless you resist the trouble and reconnect. The plains offer no nourishment. Pull back to protect what remains. This is the line of the overextended gamble. It's the realization that speed without proper support is a quick end. The I Ching says, you have approached the unfavorable open plains. Your gradual development has stopped because you tried to skip steps. Your plans are pregnant, but they aren't coming to life or coming to fruition yet. This is misfortune. You're currently a target for adversaries. Stop striking out on new paths and focus entirely on resisting troubles. You need to protect yourself and your integrity like you're fighting off robbers. Don't go forth any further. Stay put and stabilize the situation that you're in. A changing line 4. The wild swan approaches the treetop and will perhaps find a flat branch to rest on. No blame. This line is talking about finding unconventional shelter or stability. Line 4 is the beginning of the outer trigram of wind. In the journey of the goose, the tree is an unnatural place. Geese have webbed feet. They aren't designed to perch on round branches. This is the strategy of adaptability. It teaches that when the plains, the path that you expected, become kind of dangerous or difficult, you must find safety in an unexpected niche that you're not exactly equipped for. One could be in a difficult position, not a spot that's ideal, but it is safe. In the I Ching, line 4 is a position of high responsibility but low power. The oracle says, make your circumstances work even if they're not ideal. You've moved to a more prominent role, but you feel more out of your element. You are like a swan in a tree. Everyone is watching to see if you fall. Your good fortune depends on your ability to find a flat branch, as it says in the original translation. A specific area where your unique skills do fit, even if the overall environment feels strange or even foreign. When the line says no blame here, it's a confirmation of survival over perfection. You might feel awkward or like an imposter, but the oracle defends you. As long as you are resourceful and find a way to get rest without falling, you're doing exactly what is required in your situation. This is not the time for graceful flight. It's the time for holding on gracefully. In career, this is the promotion or the pivot where you don't have the traditional background. Don't try to act like everyone else. Find that one flat branch, that one specific project or skill that allows you to become stable in your new environment. In relationships, it's navigating a complicated social situation by finding the one person or topic that provides safety. Use the resourcefulness that you have to turn an awkward position into a secure one. This is the line of realizing that safety is better than elegance right now. The I Ching says you are approaching a treetop. This is a prominent but difficult position because you aren't built for this environment. Don't panic though. Look for a flat branch, a way to adapt your skills to this new role. You're in a strange spot, but there is no blame in your awkward start. Be resourceful. If you can find a way to rest and stay stable, you will survive the transition. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to not fall. A changing line 5. The wild swan approaches the hills, and for a time there is a period of waiting and unfulfilled potential, like a wife choosing to wait to bear a child. In the end, there is nothing that cannot be put right. Good fortune. Line 5 is the ruler of the migration, situated at the high point of the wind trigram. The summit represents the peak of achievement, yet even at the top there is a bit of a delay. This is the strategy of gestational patience. It teaches that the final fruit of a long journey cannot be forced. It must be born at its own pace. The original translation talks about a 3-year gap. This talks about a period of emptiness, disappointment, or maybe unfulfilled expectation. In the I Ching, line 5 is central and correct, yet it suffers a delay because of the misfortune or robbers encountered earlier in line 3. The oracle says, this delay is part of the development. When it says, for 3 years, the wife is not pregnant in the original translation, it's a metaphor for a project or a relationship or any kind of endeavor that looks stagnant on the surface, but is actually deepening its potential. Your efforts may feel pointless right now, but you're simply waiting for the season to change. There is a powerful promise here of ultimate resolution. This is a warning against premature surrender or quitting. You have reached the summit. The hard work of the climb is done. The only thing left to do is wait. The oracle suggests that persistence is the only requirement right now. The obstacles that were blocking your success are slowly dissolving. This is about trusting the process. In career, this is the promised promotion or the market launch that is held up by bureaucracy or timing. Don't panic. The outcome is good fortune. In relationships, it's the long wait for the mutual understanding or the final commitment after a period of distance. The proper time is approaching. Waiting a long time is the final test of your nobility. This is the line of the final stretch. The I Ching says you have approached the hills and the summit. There is a long delay, perhaps, where your potential feels unfulfilled in the end. You may feel disappointment, but don't. Nothing can hinder your final success. The obstacles are being overcome behind the scenes. Wait for the proper time and place. Your persistence will be rewarded with good fortune. The child, your goal, will be born exactly when it is supposed to be. A changing line 6. The wild swan gradually approaches the cloudy heights. Its feathers are used as timeless sacred ornaments. There is good fortune. Line 6 is the sage position, where the goose has transcended the shore, the rocks, and the summit. It is now in the cloudy heights. This is the strategy of graceful completion. It teaches that the highest form of development is to become a timeless ornament in the lives of others. In the I Ching, line 6 is the end of a very long game. The oracle says, your work is finished. You have navigated the vulnerability of the start and the stagnation of the middle. You are now unreachable by the robbers and the gossip of the lower levels. Your good fortune is absolute because it's no longer tied to external effort. The feathers mentioned that can be used as sacred ornaments represent the stories, memories, and challenges faced. This is a profound shift in purpose. These feathers, these challenges that you survived, and the stories that you created now serve as mementos and sacred ornaments. The oracle suggests that you are now a model. Your successful migration, whether that's a career path or a long-term commitment, is a sacred dance that inspires others to begin their own journey. In career, this is the retirement or the exit where your system continues to run and inspire long after you're gone. In relationships, this is the completion of a union, a marriage or bond so refined and steady that it becomes a timeless example of what is possible. Your journey is complete. Let your example bring lasting good fortune to the world around you. The I Ching says, you have reached the cloudy heights. Your gradual development is complete. Your stories and challenges are now sacred ornaments for the world to admire. You have set an example for others to follow. This is good fortune that lasts beyond your own life. Whether this is the completion of a union or a life's work, you have soared to the greatest and highest level. You're no longer just flying, you are transforming the sky. That concludes Hexagram 53. I hope that you liked the video if you found it helpful in understanding this hexagram. Subscribe and follow along, and next we're going to take a look at Hexagram 54, the Marrying Maiden. See you soon.